Well, again, thank you for joining me on this Friday for our devotional time. I've entitled this devotional series as Thirsty, and it's taken from John chapter 4, verses 1 through 42. This is the remarkable conversation that in normal interactions between a Jew and a Samaritan never should have happened. But we find Jesus at Jacob's well, his disciples having gone to get food for them in a village, and a woman in that afternoon time has come to fill her buckets or her jars of water to take them back to her home. And Jesus begins this conversation with this simple question, "Please give me a drink." And from there the conversation, as we've discovered, unfolds and gets deeper and more significant. The woman and her needs, the reason she is there in the afternoon, Jesus recognizes well, and she is beginning to recognize that he may be very, very different than other men that she has met. And before the conversation shifts, the woman asks again this question, "Please, sir, give me some of that water." For he has promised if she would drink of the water that he can provide, she would never thirst again. "Please give me some of that water. I'll never be thirsty again, and I won't have to come here to haul water." Skeptical questions. Her initial sarcasm has changed to "sir." The woman's recognition that she was in the presence of an authority, although she doesn't know what that authority is. Although she could not take the full transition from physical to spiritual water, she did confess the dreariness of her existence. Every time I need water, I must come in the afternoon in the heat of the day, rather than in the morning. More importantly, she's expressed her willingness to trust the stranger. And then the conversation gets even more, I would understand, more strategic. Jesus says in response to her observation, "Go and get your husband." At this point, the woman had been asking practical questions while Jesus was using spiritual metaphors. Now Jesus takes the initiative with an incisive command that would determine whether or not the woman was really willing to face her need. Jesus was not shooting in the dark with these instructions. Women with the reputation of the Samaritan lady were marked by dress and demeanor in the Mid-Eastern culture of that first century. From every indication, the woman was ready for him to move into the center of her need. Her response to his statement was this, "I don't have a husband." As we might expect, she, like we sometimes do, sidesteps this stab of truth. Despite her divorces and common-law husband, practice had taught her how to parry questions and insults when she was threatened. What she didn't know was that her defensive reaction also revealed twinges of guilt. "Jesus, you're right. You don't have a husband, for you have had 5 husbands, and you aren't even married to the man you're living with now." It's now Jesus' turn for a bit of irony as he says to her, "You spoke the simple truth when you said that." By suggesting that she was deviously honest, he was showing her the image of herself in order for her to see who she actually really was. All the excuses about heredity and cultural factors fall away before the hard fact that she bore personal responsibility for her immorality and her dishonesty. Wow, that conversation got difficult, didn't it? Now, where will it go? And we'll discover that in sessions yet ahead. But looking at this passage, this part of the passage today, it helps me to understand that Jesus knows each of us, as he did the woman, profoundly well. He knows our needs. He knows our areas of struggle. And he is willing to engage us in interaction so that we might come to a clear picture of the depth of our need, of the expanse of our need, and to hold out at the same time the hope that he can quench that thirst in a way that is healthy for us and for his kingdom, for those around about us, for our families. The promise that Jesus had offered to the woman, drink of the water that I give to you, and you will never thirst again. We live in a culture that tries to satisfy that deep thirst for meaning and purpose with such a variety of things and activities that leave us still thirsty. But Jesus says, I have water from which if you drink, you will never be thirsty again. And I truly know who you are, and I still reach out to you to offer that which will be of greatest benefit to you all. I'm deeply thankful for the Lord's conversation with this woman. Although we probably don't share her personal history, we too have those areas of need that we need that which Jesus can offer us to satisfy that thirst. Praise the Lord. May the Lord bless you on this Friday.